What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about the Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake yet again, and how it's all but confirmed at this point. So this actually comes off the back. I think it's actually the same person. It's truly unfortunate, but it is what it is. Same person that on their website, they leaked the Oblivion remake. And I guess they also helped work on Assassin's Creed. And this has happened before. I think Bioshock, it's how we know that Bioshock is supposed to come out in like 2029 or something ridiculous like that. Sometimes people go a little rogue and they just post what they're working on their personal websites, but they kind of give a little too much information on it, including when a game is not actually announced yet, which is like Black Flag, and yet it's on their website. Now, the biggest thing that's being taken from this and kind of like the headline type topics is that not just visuals, and honestly, when you say remake, I don't expect just visuals anyway, but there's going to be new systems regarding combat and ecosystems around wildlife that were specifically mentioned. And I think the one quote that he actually had on the site was they want to make this game an outstanding game to rebirth as the next gen AAA game. So it seems like they actually really want this thing to take off. And look, it's a really weird spot because Black Flag, like, can you remake it? Yeah. And is Black Flag a good game? Yes. And like, could it still be a good game, or can it be a better game? Yeah. For me, it's always just been, okay, well, when you think about those kind of older Assassin's Creed, I mean, like Assassin's Creed 1 is the perfect game that deserves a remake, right? Because that's a game that has potential. Obviously it started it all, but it is so old, and it's so like kind of the very beginning of these mechanics, right? The repetition in the missions and just how kind of stiff everything is. You know, there was such a jump between Assassin's Creed 1 and 2, right? Like a huge jump. And if you could kind of bring 1 up to speed with like 2, Brotherhood Revelations, or even closer to Black Flag, like I think that's kind of the dream remake. Plus, Assassin's Creed 1 has been like one of those games that's kind of stuck, right? It's kind of just there. It didn't get the Ezio collection. You know what I mean? It's in a situation that's kind of begging to get a remake, almost like Mass Effect 1. Even if it's like a pseudo kind of, a remake remaster, I think Assassin's Creed 1 is the one that deserves it, not Black Flag. Even, I mean, again, like Black Flag is a great game, and if you can make that pirate combat even better. Now, here's the thing, though, right? When you talk about new systems around the gameplay, we better not be talking about changing the actual gameplay from the old style to the new style. I know they're obviously radically different, and they both have their fans and their haters, right? Like, I mean, I've talked about, even for me, the newer stuff, I can play it. I mean, I can get down with that combat. It's not my favorite. I cannot connect to it as much as other just combat styles in general. However, I will say, going back, and I just replayed Assassin's Creed 2 for the 15-year anniversary. That style is also not amazing. There's a lot of negatives around it. So hopefully we're talking more about like responsiveness, like enemies attacking you, and kind of that fluidity, right? Because there's a lot of pausing that happens in the earlier Assassin's Creed systems, but it's unique. It's different. And I don't need it to be Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla. I don't need it to be that stuff. So I really hope that's not what we're talking about. I mean, like I said earlier, when you're remaking it, yeah, I do expect something beyond just visuals. Otherwise, that would probably just be a remaster, right? Remaster is just freshening it up, making sure it runs better, and calling it good. When you're remaking it, you're probably adding some stuff. You're changing some of the weaker elements when you can, and there's room to do that. It's just, what are you actually going to change? We'll see, though. One thing I said on Twitter, and this is kind of what I want to end the video on, this is fast. Like, this is such a fast game that seemingly kind of came out of nowhere, and I mean, the rumor from a while ago, I think back in October, was that the game would actually release as early as, not necessarily, but as early as November of 2025, like this fall, this fall. So that is very close. And that remake might have taken them like 2 years to do, which I would applaud and say, oh my God, thank God we're getting back to 2-3 years of development time. But the sad thing is we're actually not, right? Games still take 4, 5, 6 years. So when a game does take like 2 years, almost like alarms start to get set off, and it's like, okay, well, while I would like games to take 2 years, they normally don't. So why did it take so little time to actually make it, right? So we'll see. They still have to prove it, because I don't know, I played Black Flag like 2 years ago. It's still a great game. We don't need a remake, so they kind of have to win me over to a degree. But it's definitely happening. I mean, that's kind of the news. There's no doubt anymore that it's officially official. I guess they just have to actually confirm it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, one, and I hope to see you all on the next one.